That toy life.
To catch these ghosts, you need the real Ghostbusters.
Nice landing, Han Solo.
Spaceships and Luke Skywalker sold separately. Batteries not included.
That toy life.
Wow.
Oh, here. That's my teeth. So yeah, I did message you about if you remember Jimmy Dean breakfast pizzas.
Breakfast pizzas? Were they like the kind where it was like the sauce was it was like a maybe it was a gravy? Yeah, it was like a sausage gravy base. Yeah, I remember those. They served a kind in school that looked so good. They had like it was like white squares.
Oh yeah,
and they had like the big sausage chunks on them, and then they look good, and then I would get them and eat them, and I'd be like, ooh, it was so
I'm
gross.
talking about the ones you would get at stores. They actually looked like these.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, these look like those little like little single deep dish pizzas. You ever heard of these, Ashley?
No, no.
Well, you know the little I think you can get Tombstone of these still, like little single deep dish pizzas.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
So Jimmy Dean, I think they discontinued them. They must have because I can't find them anywhere. But they used to make breakfast pizzas, which were like it was like little deep dish pizzas, but it was a biscuit crust. And then you have a base that was like gravy, and then you would have eggs, cheese, and then a different kind of meat depending on what type you got. You get either like sausage, or you get bacon, or you'd get like a Western type with peppers in it.
Ooh,
man, yeah, I was looking for them the other day. I had a hankering for some, and I was like, can't find them anywhere.
You had a hankering for some?
Yeah, like for some breakfast.
That makes me think because I've had this conversation countless times in the past, but we've never had this on the show. What's a food that you can remember that is now discontinued? That was just the most fabulous food. You wish they hadn't done like they would bring back.
I can think of two things.
Go ahead.
Bill Cosby's Pudding Pops.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever.
Yes.
Those were so good. Oh my gosh, those were so good.
I actually had this conversation with my wife recently because in school they gave us similar. They weren't. I don't think they were that brand, but they were the exact same thing. But they were Pudding Pops, and that was the thing about those Cosby Pudding Pops. They were. I don't know what it was. It was just like a specific way that ice cream was, and the way it solidified on that stick, the way it tasted, it melted like a certain way. It tastes like a pudding, like it melted a certain way it was like nothing else mimicked that. What in the world? That's something I wish would come back.
So like there was no version of that that continued?
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing on the store shelves like it.
Like no generic or anything like that?
No, you can still, here's the thing, and I did this recently, you can make Pudding Pops at home. Jell-O still sells like make it yourself Pudding Pop kits.
Really?
They're like, oh yeah, they're in big boxes. I made them and they don't taste like the way they used to. It tastes like you made pudding and then froze it.
That doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it just doesn't. That's not what those Pops were. Those Pops, Ray, you know what I'm talking about, right? Because
I remember them, but
they were just like I just remember in the cafeteria. What was it about that? They would every so often just out of all the garbage they fed you, they would sprinkle gold. They would just like, or at least maybe this was just like in the Southern or Bible Belt schools or the public lower class schools. They just would like feed you all this junk, but every once in a while you would get this one piece of gold they throw in, and one of them was that every so many months, or maybe even it was once or twice a year, you would get this option to get a Pudding Pop. It was like individually wrapped, and you just rip it open and it was a Pudding Pop, and they just, I don't know, it was just the way they tasted was so.
See, well, the thing for me with that was
it's that even the way it looks, see the color and all that, it's perfect.
I want to see his face.
Oh man,
his face makes me sleepy, and I don't want to be sleepy around him.
That that reminds me. It's like that's just creepy. It's so funny how like back in the day we used to would have laughed. That one's peanut butter.
Yeah, that's peanut butter chocolate.
Okay.
But the regular was a mixture too, because it didn't taste different. It just looked like that, but it was a swirly, like chocolate, whatever.
Yeah, I remember chocolate, vanilla, and then there was a mixture of chocolate, vanilla, swirl.
Yep.
And it kind of looked similar to that, but man, those were awesome. Those were so good. I love it.
See, the thing with me though, with these, I actually did not eat Pudding Pops or Chocolate Pops. Like for some reason, like I've never had a huge chocolate sweet tooth.
Me either.
So sometimes when it came to like chocolate desserts, like I would love hot chocolate type stuff, like warm chocolate. Like if you gave me like a hot fudge brownie, something like that. Oh man, I would eat that up. But for some reason, cold chocolate stuff never really hit me. Like chocolate milk, chocolate ice cream. It's never been something that really hits me. So my school dessert, that would probably be the one I would lean toward. Maybe like I remember those like frozen orange or those frozen fruit pops they would make. They were I kind of liked those a little bit.
I'm trying to remember. Were they
were like oh god, what was that?
Was it like frozen fruit juice? Yeah, it
was
like
basically,
Minute Maid,
but it's like it was Minute Maid brand, but it was like these little weird squares, like one.
And you had to tear them open.
I kind of like that. If you got a good
those
flavor,
you can still get those, dude. Those are so good. What about a discontinued? Is there like a food from your youth? It didn't have to be school, but I'm saying like food from your youth or anything or food that they just came out with and discontinued for no reason or whatever, and you just wish they'd bring it back. Besides
the Jimmy Dean's breakfast, breakfast pizzas. Oh my god, I miss those.
I was going to say, Ashley, you talking about the pudding pops made me also think that Disney used to do. Remember, they used to really be in the popsicle game.
Oh yeah,
in so many years there was the Mickey Mouse ears, and
Yes.
stuff like that.
I remember
But
those.
then for a limited amount of time, I don't know if it was like it started in maybe the late 70s or at least I know in the early 80s, but by the time I was around, I was a little kid. I remember they had the fruit pops, the frozen. It was like the Disney fruit pops, and they were in the shapes of all the different Disney characters, like or like Mickey, Goofy, and
I remember those.
Donald. Yeah, those, and they even tasted really good. And I don't know why. I wish they would bring those back. Those particular ones.
Well, do you remember what about the Ninja Turtle popsicles? Do you remember those?
Yes, they should bring that. Not only that, what was it? There was
fantastic.
the turtle popsicles, but there was something else they used to do. There were turtle pies, I think they used to have.
I had a special, I think I had a special turtle bowl, like cereal bowl, that would like change colors when you had cold milk in it. I had one of those.
I think my cousin had that. Yeah, I think he had something like that. But there was also like I remember a chocolate or some sort of pie or something. It was like a turtle pie they had. And then I remember back when I was a kid, you remember they still do it, but back in the day you would fall for it when they would do the character mac and cheeses, like Kraft would do.
Yes.
I remember, I don't even know if it was Kraft though. It might have been somebody else, but they did Ninja Turtles, and then Chef Boyardee did a Ninja Turtles, and that was everything to me as a kid. Chef Boyardee Ninja Turtles, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was just because I think they even had the commercial, and the commercial was just so good because it was like the cartoon and everything. So it just they knew how to really market their brand back then. But other than that, I mean, that's the thing is they've had resurgences of stuff for forever. Everybody knew that Ecto Cooler was my thing that I wish they would have brought back. Still do. They should bring back Ecto Cooler. Hawaiian Punch had a grape geyser. I think they should bring back because that was a really good flavor. I just love like fake grape, but their Hawaiian Punch had this distinct grape punch that they had called Grape Geyser that was really, really, really good.
The only thing, the last thing that I remember, and it's kind of a weird one, talking about school food. You remember like vegetable sticks? They were fried, and they had like little pieces of corn or peas or something in it.
You know what I would always think? I would always think that that's what Yoda ate on Dagobah. Like that's what he got out of Luke's thing. I always thought that's, and you saying that like brought that back. Yeah. That's what always it brought back, because I remember one time thinking, like when I first watched that, when I was just absorbing that movie, I would go, Yoda's eating fish sticks. Then I went, no, he's eating those weird vegetable sticks at school that you're talking about with the corn and all that on the inside. God, I want to eat those now and see what I think of them.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I tried one, because the first time I saw it, I thought, they gave us cheese sticks at school. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Here was my little 5-year-old naive self bite into it, and I thought, oh my God, they're trying to poison me with vegetables. Spit it out, and I had like half a little thing of like chewed up veggies on my tray.
I don't know what it was. I love those things. I'd be getting everybody's at the table. Give me your vegetable sticks.
Hey, and I've heard school lunches have gotten like a lot. I understand the reasoning behind it, because when we did there was the fitness thing that's kind of going around where
Mhm.
schools are having to be more healthy with their food, so they're getting healthier options, but they're also giving smaller portions. And my wife's like, she's not too big on it, mainly because she works with a lot of kids, and that's not enough for them.
Mhm.
But I'm because because some of these kids don't have food at home.
Yep.
But
Well, here's my thing about all that. I agree with your wife, because
Yeah.
I think they should give the kids more food, but they also should give kids food more frequently.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, at least heck, I even remember back in the day, we like early, probably like primary school, I felt like they gave us a good bit of food, because not only did you get lunch, you got a snack.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it just kind of, I don't know, I felt like it was, for whatever reason, it kind of helped space out, because plus you also got the recess. So I just felt like you had it spaced out. But as I got older, I felt like they just crammed everything. Like you had lunch, and then they throw you out at recess at another time. But you were hungry all the time, unless you had the money to go buy snacks somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think that schools should just provide you just spaced out meals throughout the day. Like you get a break, everybody sit down, let's have a small meal or something, because kids need a lot of food.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think, I don't want to get in a political rant or anything.
Oh yeah. I wasn't even intending to go into that. I was just saying, like, we have this food, but finish.
But I mean, to me,
Let's
it's not
go, Brandon.
even.
Is that the stupid crap going on?
Stop.
To me, it's not.
Sorry, I'm trying to be topical.
I know. To me, it's not the like the food that they're eating. It's what they're doing outside. Like they're not playing like we used to. They sit in front of video games all day long on their phones or whatever, and that's why they're getting fat.
That's one thing is I don't think kids should have phones at all at school. I mean, I mean, unless it's like right before and then like right after school's out. But otherwise,
even then though, that's the majority of the problem.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going outside play, and when they get home, like I remember when I got home, I went outside. You know, I did watch my cartoons, but I went outside and played Batman and Transformers, and with stick guns and stuff,
Yeah, it's hard. It's becoming harder for kids. Like, kids are born into this technology now. So it's just that it's like they see it around them. So it's like they're just kind of plugged in at a very, very, very young age.
Yes.
And a lot of parents too, just kind of hand them screens and just be like, here, just stay away. Just give me some peace and quiet.
Yeah.
And that is one thing me and my wife talk about. Like when we have kids, I do not want them to have phones, iPads. I mean, we could have an iPad, but it would be something that would be used like sparingly, and it would feel like an occasion.
Go full Amish. Just go full Amish. Like, Daddy, what are you doing? I'm on my phone. You need to go churn that butter. Go churn that butter right now.
Day. No, I mean, it's crazy, because I mean, really, I think kids should. I mean, like the video game portion's important, and I feel like my kids should be able to come inside and have a video game console or something, or on their computer to play on for some amount of time. You don't want them on it all the time, but they've got to have another world that can't be like their world, and they have to. It's not like that has to be their world that they break away from every once in a while. That's not healthy to me. I feel like that's something that you kind of retreat into every once in a while, just to kind of, just like drinking a cup of coffee. You want to play a video game or something like that. But it's kind of scary, the kids that are plugged in at a very young age.
And now we're off the political soapbox.
Yeah.
Boom.
No, all I was getting
well, what they need to do is they need more toys. That's my point. I was trying to say that they need to get off these video games and play more toys. I should be promoting toys.
I was just going to say, I just liked how much food I got back then, because I remember some of my favorite meals were like taco boats. Did you ever have a taco boat?
Oh yeah. What you talking about with the chili and the chili and all that in it too, like with the beans?
Like the shape of it. Who the heck makes taco boats? Nobody but schools. I want a taco boat.
Or like the names. I like how at schools we were allowed to name it something else. Everywhere else it's something else. It's like chicken pot pie anywhere you go. But you go to school, it's chicken pan pie. Anywhere I went, they always called it. I don't know why, but anywhere I went, it was like chicken pan pie, and I'm like, but that was what it's called. Yeah. That's what it was. It was made of pan.
Chicken pan pie. Oh man,
the best.
Especially that crust.
The crust. Yeah, it was like, dude, it was like a soft dinner roll. You could have the crust, but then they gave you that roll. Remember the roll that they would give you with
Soak it up.
So then you could soak up the gravy afterwards. Oh my God. Let's just. How about this?
Yeah,
let's
let's get
just
back to toys.
stop early. No, let's just stop early and go find a school cafeteria to eat at.
I'm gonna find vegetables and like a small helping of like liver and gizzards.
Yeah, vegetable sticks now are like real carrot sticks and celery sticks. Because when I mentioned vegetable sticks to my kids, they're like, "Yeah, we still have them." I said, "Really?" Then they described them to me, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's like a plastic cup, and then they just put a carrot, and a cherry tomato in there, and a celery stick, and a broccoli. No, excuse me, I'm sorry, cauliflower. Broccoli is so fattening. Cauliflower's in there.
I like cauliflower. Okay, back to toys. Wait, we never even started talking about toys. We went right to breakfast.
We went right to breakfast.
So how well in the geek realm though, we did watch a new Boba Fett, and that does hint at a possible new toy coming up, possibly because our new episode of Boba Fett was actually a regular an interruption of our regularly scheduled programming to show you a new episode of The Mandalorian.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I
loved it, but I was confused because I'm going, wow, we're 30 minutes in now. Like this is The Mandalorian.
I was wondering like when Boba was going to show up. I thought it was like right when he showed up on Tatooine. I thought Fennec was going to approach him like she knew he was coming or something. Because I was wondering like, why is he in Tatooine? Like, what's the purpose? And then we saw no, he was keeping in touch with Peli to get him a new ship. And yeah,
it's weird too. I love that they like downgrade him from a gunship to like the Naboo Starfighter. But I love that the Naboo Starfighter. Like I love like that was one of my favorite prequel fighters was the Naboo Starfighter.
I don't know if y'all watch stuff like on eBay. Look at how much that Naboo Starfighter from Hasbro is going for now. Even the Lego sets.
And I wanted it.
Hey, I have one. I have a Naboo Starfighter.
Since that episode, man, that stuff has just gone up.
Wow.
There was a mint in box Lego Naboo Starfighter that sold for like $1,000 yesterday. $1,098.
Well, definitely not in box, but I do have a Naboo Starfighter. I had I think the most recent one that they put out, which was the one that came with Obi-Wan and Anakin, and I think some battle droids and a little.
Well, this might have been the first
hanger
release.
Stand.
Yeah, this might have been the very first release.
Okay, yeah, because did the first release have chrome coloring? I think for the silver.
Maybe, but like even the Hasbro version, it's mint in box is like $200 now. For a episode 1 toy. That's absolutely crazy. Where did Austin go?
He vanished.
It's
but we can
continue
talking
magic
about it.
Yes. But yeah, so I think that was probably my favorite even though it was Boba Fettless, it was probably my favorite episode of the season so far because it answered like a lot of questions.
I did like seeing where he is right now after the end of season 2 because and I feel like a lot of people didn't like. Were some people that saw some of the stuff they only saw certain aspects that they wanted to see about how it was handled. Now I feel like they're doing that with the whole series of they're looking at it with certain expectations and not looking at it with what Filoni and Favreau are probably trying to tell with the story.
Yeah.
Where like for instance, the Starfighter, some people are saying like, oh, it's just a cash grab move, because they want to nostalgia stuff like that, or nostalgia is their big thing they love to put up. But I like the idea that he was getting like a small fighter because it's kind of metaphorical for his increasing loneliness. I think at that point, because first he had lost Grogu. And then now he'd been, he doesn't have his clan anymore.
Yeah, his coven's gone.
Yeah,
which is
so he's
crazy.
So he's completely on his own now, and so I kind of like this idea of like it's kind of claustrophobic because it's kind of like isolationism. To kind of just metaphorically or symbolically kind of show where he is in it, character wise.
But it's also reassuring that this is going somewhere. Like these are not like siloed type shows. They're all going to be interconnected. Like I think Ahsoka is going to be interconnected. All of them, and it does. Even though it's called the Book of Boba Fett, I think it's just Star Wars, and this is a chapter in Star Wars. You know,
I'm curious how Ahsoka's going to fit into it, because we all have an idea, at least from what Filoni's shown us with her episode, of what her story is going to be. Is that she's on a search. You know, she's looking. You know, our assumption is she's looking for Ezra, and that's why she was looking for Thrawn when she went to the magistrate.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that the big assumption everybody's having is that's going to be the plot of the show, at least at least at the beginning. It's going to be she's going to be searching for then, you know, Ezra and Thrawn, and maybe we'll see Sabine. I hope so.
I'm sure we probably will.
And then speaking of,
I'm glad that that's finally coming to fruition.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Ahsoka, we got casting news this was it this week or
I
last
think
week?
So. I think it was this week.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead,
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's girl.
So who do you think she's playing?
Scott, was it Scott Pilgrim's love?
Yeah,
Ramona Flowers.
Yep.
I don't know who she get. My assumption right now is not someone that already exists. My assumption is probably a new character. Because nine times out of 10 with a lot of characters that they're just, you know, with a lot of actors when they're brought in, it's a new, you know, it's someone new.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm thinking when they hired her that she's going to be some sort of like a version of Cara Dune. You know what I'm saying? Like a character sort of like Republic, her, like a new,
Republic.
yeah.
Because definitely couldn't be. She couldn't be Sabine, obviously. You know, I think they're going to go with someone with a little tanner skin because you know she's tanner.
Right. No, and plus that would be. I'm sure there would be backlash if you did, because that, you know, people would clearly point that out, like, hey, why are you casting a white girl for this obvious, like, you know, like it could be a Latino role or something like that. You're talking about for Sabine, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if they were to cast her, if Mary Elizabeth in that role, there would be backlash. People would obviously go like, hey,
she's
guy,
too white.
like, way too white here, guy. Yeah. But no, I was going to say, look, I remembered I had these, you know, the action fleet. Yeah, the action fleet series. I've got the stand to go with it and everything.
Oh, sweet.
But I loved, especially the action fleet and the Boo Starfighter.
Mm-hmm.
And it came because you had like R2 that he can't come out of it, but you could push him in. You know, see,
that's cool.
What
figure came with it?
I was going to say Anakin.
Little Anakin.
Little Annie came with him, so I could see him if I wanted to.
Yep.
And little orphan Annie. That's pretty much. That's exactly. Oh man, I can't believe they wanted to call it Annie.
Orphan Annie.
But
cool.
But yeah.
Hey, what's Annie's secret message?
Drink more
Ovaltine. No, it was be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah.
Son of a.
Yeah. Dude, you know they're making
a commercial.
Do you know they're making a part too?
I just saw that. Like Peter Billingsley is coming back to play Growing Up.
I wonder if it's going to be like if he's producing it too. Like, because you know he usually works with Jon Favreau and produces. I think Peter Billingsley's been he's been on the credits for at least Mandalorian, hadn't he? Because isn't he involved in the production of that or no?
That's a good question. I'm not sure, but
we know
he was involved with the production of Iron Man 1 and I think 2.
Yeah.
Or was he also in 3?
I don't know about 3, but I know he was, I think, in 1 and 2 for sure. I'm just trying to make sure when because I don't know when him and Favreau or if they ever parted in their production company or whatever, because I feel like they would do things together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking through his IMDb. I don't see any Star Wars at all.
Okay. Let's see.
I do see Iron Man, but that's it.
Yeah, Iron Man.
I don't see like any other Marvel.
Maybe that was when they stopped. Then was Iron Man. I thought they were on Iron Man 2 together, and then after that, I didn't think he was involved with other Marvel stuff. But yeah, so yeah, he hadn't been there for a while. But I was almost going to say I could definitely see Jon Favreau jumping in and helping with something like that. Like bringing something like that to fruition, especially with his power he's got now. So,
yeah. You know, I have to say I'm impressed with Jon Favreau, not in just direction or like writing and stuff like that. I know that he plays Paz Vizsla's voice, but I never recognized it. Like I'm listening to it, and when I was hearing him talk in the new episode, I was thinking,
yeah,
that doesn't sound like Jon Favreau. Did they change voice actors? And I had to go look up. I was like, yeah, Jon Favreau still. And then I went back to his scenes from the first appearance where he spoke in like episode 3, I think, of the Mandalorian. And yeah, it's like it did not sound like Jon Favreau. Like I think a little bit you could hear it, but it's still like he does good voice to make it in himself.
Who's in the suit?
It's probably just some
stunt double. Yeah, I imagine.
Which I think is why they had such an easy time probably doing this episode, which was, I think that's one of the magical things about how they do the Mandalorian is Pedro only has to be physically there partially. He doesn't have to be there all the time on set whenever, even when the character is needed. Yeah. He only really has to do voice work because I'm pretty sure he was probably filming The Last of Us, and all he had to do was just go to the voice studio, record his, lines, for whatever they were filming. So it makes it's probably an easy situation to be able to do a lot more with that character with how that's set up with him,
Yeah. So was there anything you didn't like about the episode?
You, Austin? Was there anything you didn't
like?
Me?
I mean, no. I mean, unless you want to say like the only negative you can take away from it is that there wasn't really any Boba Fett, but the story, I mean, obviously it was satisfying in any way. If you're a Mandalorian fan, like it, to me, it was like it paid off on a lot of stuff. It promised you that we're going to see Grogu again because people were wondering. They never promised. They never said. We kind of always assumed that he's going to come back. So now we know that there's somehow they've got to, he's going to be in the story more. Yeah. So, I mean, there's that. And then you get the, more backstory on the Darksaber. You get, you get more. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. You kind of get the follow up on what happened with their little, their little sect, the Mandalorians there, like with the armor and with Free Vizsla.
Now, did they explain what they, maybe I missed something, but did they explain why they went to Concordia? Like, were they not being strict enough?
I don't know. I guess I didn't know that they all died except for those two. Isn't that what they kind of alluded to?
That's what I thought. Well, because a lot of them had
got killed by the Empire when they were on it, when they hit Navarra after they saved Mando.
Yeah,
because he came back and he found who was it? As the armor, she was like burning the last of them or something like that when they came across her, burning the last of the bodies.
And since the Empire knew about it, they moved.
Yeah,
so I guess that's where they moved to.
And that was another cool thing I did like. I don't have they ever shown a gigantic space ring station in Star Wars before?
No, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Like nothing like Clone Wars or anything, because I know I never watched enough of Clone Wars to see how diverse they got.
I don't remember anything like that. Not a big circles like that.
Not like that. Because that
there's space stations, but
because that was pretty fantastic. Because that reminded me of like it was a mix of two cool sci-fi properties to me. It was kind of a mix of Halo, obviously, and the Citadel from Mass Effect. It made me think of that also.
Now, the one thing I didn't like is the lady on Tatooine, the ship. Yeah, what she repairs ships and whatever.
Yeah,
you don't like Amy Sedaris' character?
No, dude, she's okay, but it went a little over the top. Talking about I dated a Jawa at one point. I'm like,
I feel like come on. It kind of worked for the zaniness of her.
Yeah,
I even like the part where she did a joke to the Jawa to kind of infer that was the one she broke up with and dated. Yeah, because she said like, I'm still trying to figure myself out.
Yeah,
I'm still working on myself.
That just seems so out of place. It is like, here's Star Wars. Let's take a break from Star Wars. Let's go back to Star Wars.
Yeah. And we did see.
I agree to disagree, but it was good.
We did see our first live action, not live action, but BD unit from Fallen Order. We saw another one.
Me and my wife squealed when he come on there. We were like, "Oh my god,
it's a BD!"
But Yeah, it's a BD. I was almost like, is it the BD? But nah, it's not him. But no, you were talking about her. It was another. Well, overall, the biggest thing I was so happy about was number one, Bryce Dallas Howard directing this.
She's done a great
Knocked it
job.
out of the park. I mean, I'm just saying in terms of the cinematography mixed with the beats and the music was so good in this episode. But just the visuals. I mean, it's just that. I'm so glad that they have the means, the technology has caught up with the being cost wise and cost effective. They can do these types of shots that they do. I mean, this was like movie quality scenes in this episode. I mean, they've been this way from like Mandalorian on, but I mean, this one really stood out for some reason. It was almost like if you had said Chris Nolan had directed this or some, or some big name that's known for like cinematography. But then the fact that David Klein is the cinematographer on this, who also worked on, I think he was like the main cinematographer on Homeland. And I'm trying to remember if there was any other ones that he's really been blowing up the the TV game for a while now, but I didn't realize like that was David Klein until they showed that in the credits, and I'm like, wow, because even here lately I've been having sort of a Kevin Smith revisit, like just sort of kind of reading the books and stuff, and revisiting like that whole story of how all that got made, and the fact that I've seen that dude start out in the indie circuit and now he's shooting like Star Wars and all these big projects and stuff, and it looks great. It makes me proud. Like you just saw that trajectory is really cool.
Yeah, both of them. Like, think back
and Bryce. I was going to say, and Bryce.
Like, and you think,
Daddy.
I think her was that episode of Mandalorian where he comes across Cara Dune. They have the big, to protect the village from the ATST assault. From that single ATST. Was that her first attempt at directing anything?
Yeah, I think that I think so. There could have been other things that minor things that she had directed, but as far as I'm concerned, I think that was her first like major credited
my bad. Sorry.
Role, or like her first. I think her first directing. I think that was her first official like major directing gig, was doing that episode. Yeah. So she got her feet wet there. She knocked it out of the park on this episode. Yeah. Well, I'm really hoping. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, if you want to kind of like track it, I think in season 2 she directed the episode that introduced Bo-Katan.
That's true.
In live action.
That's true.
And then this was her next one that she did.
And so I'm hoping, and unless she's already done it, or I'm sure she has, but I hope they pull her, because this is like Lucasfilm production. I hope they pull her into the Willow TV series, and I hope she at least directs an episode or two of that to follow in her dad's footsteps, because that's his baby and his project.
I mean, if she's interested in Star Wars, like from a story perspective, man, like. I've seen people already comment is like someone should like just give her showrunner for something like
or have her direct a Star Wars movie.
Oh man, yeah.
Just how I would. That's what I would see. That's the thing is if you were seeing these types of people standing out in these. I mean, it sucks to say you would be showing favoritism, but yeah, I mean, Taika Waititi obviously is already a major director, and he makes big time movies, single movies. Yeah. But I think Bryce deserves that. There was I'm trying to remember the other guy. Oh Lord, I can't remember his name. Huh?
Robert
Rodriguez is obviously, and some of this I was wondering, because Robert Rodriguez produces some of this. Do they shoot some of this at his Troublemaker Studios? You think? Like, do you think they've rigged up some of these screens and stuff at his studios? Because doesn't he own like a big old Troublemaker Studio thing in like Austin, Texas, or somewhere, Dallas, or somewhere in Texas?
If they did, I'd imagine maybe for that one episode in The Mandalorian. But
or like certain shots, like certain things, like certain scenarios, they're like, hey, we can just shoot it here at this studio because it's cost effective or something.
Yeah, because I know that they love to use the volume, but I don't know how many volumes do they have, or how many, or like who gets priority, over using it. It's interesting. I don't know. It might be one of those things. A TV is different than film, so it might be one of the situations where he just kind of has to play ball with them. because it's almost, the TV world is different from the movie world in that the director seems to play a lesser role overall than the writers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it
Yeah.
makes sense because they're going to be, even if that director's gone, those people are still there having to control that narrative. That the director's not fully painting the whole picture; they're only painting a piece.
Yeah.
So I totally get that where the writers in those scenarios are like the more important player in the game.
But without story beats, there's stuff Bryce did that I really liked was, just simple little shots. Like for one, she did it twice. Those elevator shots, I really liked how those were done, because there's one take of him walking into the elevator, all the way, and then he walks all the way out. They look
so good. Well done. They're so clever, but they look so good. They're so well shot. You know what I mean? She and the music she does, like Ludwig's music mixed with. There was a new guy that I think was composing music on this episode, but he was using some of Ludwig's themes, obviously. And then you hear like the Mandalorian thing come in. It was really cool. I mean, this was a really well done episode. And I like that they're setting up this big power team for Boba, because you got Black Chrysanthemum, and you're gonna have Mando, you're gonna have who else is on the team? I'm blanking.
Fennec.
Besides Fennec, I'm saying besides the obvious,
the cyborg kids.
Man. The mod squad.
Yeah, mod squad.
Is that their name?
I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably
the Borg squad.
Yeah, the Borg squad.
Yeah, Borg squad. Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm satisfied so far with the series. I mean, how many more episodes are they doing for Book of Boba Fest?
There was 7 total, I think.
Oh, 7. So we got one more?
No,
it's 2 more. This was chapter 5 that just aired.
Was it? Okay. I don't know why I was thinking it was 6.
Okay. I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking it was 8. So yeah.
I mean, it may be 8. I was thinking 7.
No, you're right. You're right. The series consists of 7 episodes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna have to wrap things up soon with that, or at least with that arc. But speaking of things that look pretty, we heard you showed us some Batman news.
Oh yeah, my bad. I was getting everything set up and accidentally.
Oh hey, just to add on to the Star Wars news, I did hear. I think I'm pretty sure I read an article that like Ewan's teasing the trailer, saying that it's going to be pretty big when they reveal the Kenobi trailer.
I'm excited.
Like they're saying, he's saying it's going to be like biggest. It's going to be huge. So I mean, the way, I'll tell you this much: we've had the Mandalorian, and now we've got Book of Boba Fett. I'll close it out by saying they have given me a lot of hope for how they're going to handle Kenobi. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it.
Me too. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I don't think Ash is excited, but
no, I'm excited about Kenobi. Really.
Just messing with you.
Yeah, dude. I just love this. They're really going into like playing in the sandbox, and I'm just so happy with it. So happy with it so far.
We'll see.
Let's see. So, is anybody getting more excited for the Batman?
I'm still like I'm not jazzed about it, but I will watch it. But it's like I'm not jiving with the overall like aesthetic of it so far. Like even with this kind of looks okay. It almost looks like they're trying to do like a live action version of the video game.
Oh, Arkham Asylum.
Kind of like a live action Arkham Asylum, but make Bruce look sleeker and younger and more like, I don't know. It's just like I said, I don't know. I could just be, above the age range they're going for with this particular version of Batman, and I don't want to be a party pooper because it may be an awesome movie. I'm not super jazzed about it though. I'm not, especially the Riddler. I'm not digging the Riddler this time around.
That's the only thing I think that's not like the last trailer. Like I said, the last big trailer they did. I don't think did they do another trailer recently? I think they
possibly, or a TV spot.
They've been doing some TV spots here.
Yeah, I think they did a final trailer recently, but
that's what I saw. I didn't watch it, but I heard there was a final spot or final trailer or something like that.
The first official trailer I think that came out, that one sold me. I'm interested enough to where I think I'm going to go see this in theaters. I'm pretty certain I'm going to go see it at the theaters, just for no reason that it looks like it's going to be a fun thriller.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's got some solid directing. Like the cinematography looks pretty great. But yeah, the Riddler and the Zodiac aesthetic of him, I think that's kind of just like a little too on the nose because
I just- and also I'm
he
not
literally
digging his
looks
look.
like he's like it looks so much like Zodiac stuff where it's just
Yeah.
kind of like why other than you're
Yeah.
just trying to make him more scary looking. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think-
I agree. No, I
I
agree.
think you could have him be. I think you can take that look. You know, the look of the Riddler, the basic look where he likes his, his question marks and stuff. I think you can tweak it in a way that looks scary without having to resort to making him look like a real life serial killer, like I said, like the Zodiac.
Yeah. Well, my thing
Yeah.
is, I think I've been spoiled by Kevin Conroy because, dude,
Oh, no.
Kevin Conroy's voice is that's Batman. And
I just wanted to make sure he had his
Emphasis.
solo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I wanted
yeah,
Emphasis
yeah.
on it.
I mean, he is Batman. And when I hear Robert Pattinson talk about, just talk as Batman,
Mhm.
it's so high pitched and it doesn't sound like freaking Batman to me.
So yeah, I haven't heard him speak much as Batman other than when he's screamed at the Riddler through the glass, or when he
Look at
or
some of the
whoever
TV
he screamed
spots.
at, whoever he screams, "What have you done?" Or when he or when he growls, I'm vengeance."
Nah,
I think that's the only
some of
time.
check out some of the TV spots. He talks in some of those.
Okay,
Yeah, and it's like
I've been kind of avoiding like the cool thing about it, I think, going into it is knowing the runtime now because it's gonna be close to 3 hours.
yeah, it is.
So that's going to be a big movie, and I want to give some kudos to DC at least for that, for giving someone the freedom to make a movie that big again.
Well, it's Warner Brothers. Not
Or
DC,
not DC, but yeah, WB, because they freaked out the last time someone made a gigantic 2 hour plus movie.
Yeah,
But then again, Aquaman did the same thing, and there's $1 billion movie.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, anywho, so McFarlane released some pre-orders. I
Mhm.
know that in the past few days. One of them is this 12-inch Batman figure, which is
So is this
okay.
a figure or a statue?
It does say statue. I didn't realize it said statue, but it looks like those arms move, don't they?
I can't tell if they're jointed. He does look like he's only got one movement.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe it does. I was thinking
But
this is a
you
figure,
probably,
but-
or you could move, like it might have some joints, but it
Some
might just
slight
be like
joint.
a,
yeah.
yeah. But you mainly, I think you
Limited.
probably just plug him into the
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Into the-
And it's only like what $39.99.
That's
so-
not bad.
So it's probably PVC and it's not like solid resin. And then there's the 12-inch
The
Riddler.
Zodiac Killer. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. The Zodiac Killer. I've always
so
wanted a toy of the Zodiac Killer.
Hey, look, he's got his little duct tape hanging out from his pants there.
What's
Hmm.
the shovel for?
The shovel. You don't ask about the shovel. You find that out in the movie.
Do you know what it's
Excuse
about, Ashley?
I have no
Okay.
clue. I have no.
I just
clue.
like duct tape.
Yeah.
Why? I like the sound it makes when I do this.
Yeah. So
She'll
yeah,
probably
I mean,
give him some weird thing like that. But I'm really not digging
Yeah,
the look.
me either.
It looks
Well-
stupid.
well, tell me
looks
this,
stupid.
Are you peeved about his name change, or at least on the surface so far? It seems
not
like
Edward Nigma. Yeah, it's something else.
it's
In it.
Edward Nashton.
Nashton. That's right.
Are they going to somehow change it to Nigma or something or no?
I have no clue, or maybe it was a former name or something like that, or that's what I'm wondering. Is like, why change the name?
I don't know.
Other
Maybe,
than like
maybe they're
it's
not giving
working.
us any information. That's the thing. Is maybe they're just like, it's like there's this little bits of like nuggets of information we're getting, but we're not getting the whole picture.
Mhm.
And there's probably a whole bunch more that we haven't seen because isn't this movie supposed to be like 3 hours
3
long?
hours, close to 3 hours. I think
Yeah.
close to like 2
If
hours.
it's
and 50
3
minutes.
hours and there's
Yeah.
like nothing going on, I'm gonna be mad because I really, I mean, I want it to be successful. I really like this penguin look. I mean,
Yeah. Now this is the 7-inch figure, so this is actual action
yeah,
figure here.
yeah. This dude, I saw this before, and I would buy this. This looks great.
Wait,
But like I said,
he's not looking at me. He's looking at you, Austin.
He's looking at the
Charlie.
time.
Arr.
Yeah. Stupid eyes, man. I don't understand why they have to freaking paint the eyes like that. That is ridiculous.
we don't have to check them as hard if we just know that they're all plastered to the corners.
I guess.
Well,
If that's
is
their
his name Oswald Cobblepot in the movie too?
I imagine so. That one's
No,
it really is. It's not.
No, it's Oswald Mashton.
I thought you were gonna say like copper ball. What's the
Copper Ball? Yeah, Oswald.
I was gonna say
Ball.
what was the
From
name
Goonies?
of the guy from the Goonies who disappeared, the treasure hunter who got killed.
I don't know. It's like Copper. Hold on.
Copperfield. Copper.
Chester.
Chester Coppers. Oh gosh.
Chester. Cobb.
It might have been
Cobblepot.
Cobblepot.
That's.
It might have been Cobblepot.
I don't know.
It might have been. It might have been. Oh God. I have no clue.
I'm gonna Google this. Just keep showing.
I'm just going through the pictures of the box now. But then here we go. Oh my God. Look at that face. Jeez. I mean, the figure itself looks okay, I guess. But man, that face is awful.
Copperpot.
Yeah, it was Chester Copperpot.
Yeah. Well, at first I had to look at that figure when I first saw it, because when I first saw that someone had shown it, I thought, did they just like grab the Drifter Bruce Wayne figure and switch the head out with the regular figure? And no, apparently this is a real figure. And I had to look to see that they just didn't remove the head. I think the hair is a little bit different on the sculpt, but at first, I just literally thought they just took heads off the Drifter characters and were just like, oh, let's reuse them here as well. That way we don't have to spend any more money on assets.
I mean, the Batman costume is okay. Looking at it
it's
here.
Growing on me.
Yeah, it's okay.
I just miss the gray
part right here.
I do miss the gray. Like, I got spoiled by the Batfleck costume because that was the first time we saw one that was straight up looked like he stepped out of the comics. And to kind of go back to the Nolan armor stuff, it feels like a step backwards. Unless the plan is that he's gonna continually upgrade his suit. Maybe this is a precursor to him getting a gray sub armor suit. Maybe looks something kind of like that, where something like the Affleck suit, where you're kind of like gray that's got armor below it.
Possibly.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I'll tell you. So far, though, my impression of it is that this isn't even. It doesn't feel like Batman as much as like Nightwing. This feels more like a grown up Robin. He just doesn't feel quite like Batman. But we'll see. I mean, I'm going to give the movie a chance. For sure.
Chris O'Donnell.
This is another one that looks questionable to me because I actually like her, but she's just in this movie. Yeah, I love Zoe, and she's just. I don't know. It's almost like they hired her. But I'm worried that they didn't utilize her to the best of her abilities. There's something about this look doesn't look right.
Well, for me, it's like 8/10 of a great Catwoman costume. Everything is great up until the head. Like, I'm not a big fan of the hood with slightly perked up corners to make it look like cat ears. I'm not a big fan of that. It just feels
just like Jughead. I mean, it doesn't look like Jughead.
Look at those horrible ankles, man.
But I feel like I've seen it different. But didn't we see another headpiece on her in a trailer? Because I feel like that has to be maybe one. Well, it says it's unmasked.
She has the hood. Yeah, the hood comes down over her face, and it looks.
Okay.
I've seen two different versions. Though. I've seen one where it's eye holes, and then I've seen one where it's like a balaclava, where it's like that, where it's like a panel.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure a costume, kind of goes through stages. I would imagine.
Because like one of the best versions of her costume I saw that I've really liked in the comics was the one that like it's almost exactly like that, except she has the little cowl that kind of just snaps on, and it's got it's got the ears. That's perfect.
Yeah,
I mean if they get to that, then yeah, that's fantastic.
But as far as this toy goes, look, I don't understand this whip. Why have a whip that's all curled up that doesn't like unfurl?
Right.
Oh, it doesn't unfurl at all?
No.
I assumed that it did when I first saw it.
That's just plastic.
Because I think like she would do in the comics to I guess kind of symbolize a cat tail. She would like wear it around her waist. Wear the whip.
This is all just.
I assumed maybe you could put it around her waist, but no, you can't even do that.
Look at this. I hate the ankle joints and I hate the foot. The way they do this high heel garbage.
Yeah, they should have just gave her regular boots for that part of the costume.
Yeah.
Like that would have been. Yeah,
I mean, and you know what? To be honest, it's probably not even like that in the movie.
I think it is though. I think I've seen it, and it does
really?
look like that. Yeah.
Ugh.
That way they can kind of, I guess, have her do more. Because the thing is, when you have heels on it, like it's supposed to make you more shapely and like the back of your legs and stuff like that.
Say it, Ray.
So,
it's trying to accent the ass. Like
Yes.
they're wanting you to see
yes,
that
it's
ass.
doing that. But
See that ass?
it's probably just like
okay.
it's
Now I
probably
see
along
why
those
they put
lines.
these right here on the feet. Okay,
Yeah.
because that looks better. Oh gosh. I'm just not.
They're always hypersexualizing like the female characters for sure.
Well, I mean,
But
it does look. I mean, the costume, other than the heels, like it's a pretty comic. Well, except for the heels, actually are pretty accurate, probably for the comics. But other than the hood, that's a really solid comic accurate costume for Catwoman. Like I said, other than the hood.
Right. Even with
Looks really
Batman's
great.
suit, I would say Batman, like his suit looks like a really like a good representation of the Arkham games and stuff like that. But yeah, for whatever his cowl, like even I don't like that cowl. Something's going
The
on.
leather
It
stitching looks weird.
looks really weird.
Yeah,
But
like I
I
said,
mean,
I'm
maybe they'll
hoping
update
it's
that.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah, but another thing I was going to say, maybe about the toys, you're talking about her and the way she holds the whip, like it's just made to be held. I feel like probably McFarlane, I think he aims more towards like the collectors that are just going to like put it on a shelf. So he doesn't expect it to have a lot of functionality. But, I mean, like, I wish there was, the alternates. You have the coiled whip and then the uncoiled,
Yeah.
like the Target exclusive Batman Year 2, where he's got the big statue and then you can take this big cape off of it and use the cloth. I felt like that was pretty cool.
Honestly, I don't know if McFarlane Toys knows what they want. They go from being a statue kind of action figure to adding a little bit of articulation. If you look at it compared to a Marvel Legends figure or something like that, the articulation's night and day. The Marvel Legends figure can do way more than the McFarlane figure. And then when they
bend their toes,
that's true, but that's
that's
like wasted articulation to me.
Yeah.
And then when they do something like their ankles and their wrist articulation are just awful. Those little ball joints. I mean,
that don't really function too well. They're kind of two-way. Like it's really hard to get something to go this way when it's really kind of only working that way.
Yeah, and then when you got a figure who has like really skinny arms, that big ginormous ball wrist.
Yeah, Harley Quinn's boots
awful.
look terrible.
Yeah. So I don't understand it. It's like he doesn't know.
They need to improve. Also, I have heard that the weapons thing was probably part of the AT&T. Like it's probably an AT&T mandate more than a Warner Brothers mandate, because I think that started at some point after AT&T bought it.
But then if you look at Spin Master, look at the Batman movie figures they're putting out. Those figures have guns.
Well, it's weird though, because McFarlane, I think himself has said that it has, like an official statement, has said that it's due to mandates from the people that are contracting, like DC, Warner Brothers, and whoever.
And Spin Master is targeting their toys to kids. Those are 4 and up, but they have guns. Collectors don't get guns, which is ridiculous.
Speaking of that gun nonsense, one more point.
Okay.
Ghostbusters, they're about to put out another round of, or Hasbro's about to put out another round of Egon Spengler like Neutrona wands, and they're making one little change on the tip of the wand where it was like a silver, like the circular at the tip of it was a silver piece. They've taken off and it's going to be like a red piece, like on the cap guns and stuff. because of
Oh,
like
no.
taking it to convention, so it's clearly a toy gun and not a real gun. Like it's a neutrino wand. It's not a
This
gun
is
at all.
a-
It's a
it's a made-up
fictional.
gun.
Yeah, it's a made up piece of machinery. It's not even a gun. I hate that decision, but I get it. I get it, and I'm sure
You're
you
not
can
really
probably mod
capturing
it.
ghosts in here, are you?
I don't get it.
Well, I mean, like to get the guys more easily past like security at conventions, so and they can just carry it with them without having to mod it themselves. They just, if they want it the other way, they'd have to mod it. But like to make it convention friendly, I think is what they were trying to do, so that it would be more people would be like out of the box, like okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I guess some people are, I'm assuming most people are fine with that. I just hate that, man. It's just like, I wish guns, if they're going to sell guns in stores, I wish they'd make them look like real guns.
Wish they would sell them with just real tiny guns that just
Like
really fire
real
bullets.
small hand. Yeah, just smaller ammo. That's all they need. Listen, you shoot a kid with a with a 30-30 versus a
It was
20,
like Indian
22.
covered all over again, like where the little kid got shot in the chin.
No, I mean, obviously it's horrible, but I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like when we start making really crazy, like, I don't know. I feel like when we try to overstep, it gets crazy. But anyway, go on with your hauls. I don't want to interrupt.
You got a haul?
You got a haul?
Let's go first.
I don't have any hauls. Unfortunately, I don't have any
Do you
hauls
have
this week.
anything, Ashley?
Yeah, I've got quite
Rick
a bit
Astley, you
today.
got
Rick
any?
Astley.
You got any? You gonna Rickroll us tonight?
Yes.
Good.
I can't come up with a funky, a nifty song here that's Rick Astley. Never gonna give you my heart.
I'm gonna take my.
There's
heart.
another song of his I used to remember, and now I've forgotten it.
Uh,
What are you gonna do?
yeah. So
what you got?
Ray's like I'm
okay.
the OG fan. I know his B sides.
I do.
So I got some stuff in the mail here, just like a super deformed thing. This is from some anime on Netflix called Eden, which is a very good show. It's like 4 episodes. Give it a try. It's pretty cool. This is just.
But
one
is it
little
very? Is it
robot.
very anime-y?
Yeah, I mean, if you look on the back, you can kind of see the artwork for some of the characters.
I mean, I'll
But
still
it-
watch it if you.
Yeah, it's
recommend
basically
I'll watch
about like Earth no longer has any humans, and is the place better or worse for
it.
it?
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So,
I mean, that's unfortunately to say, but yeah.
yeah. So then I got also a couple of more from another Netflix anime show called Yasuke, and here is a bad guy from the show. No, bad guy from the show and a bounty hunter from the show, which pretty cool. Little super deformed things here, little kind of like Funko Pops, I guess, just something to stick on a shelf somewhere. All right, now let's get into the figures that I got, because I got quite a few. So I got another G.I. Joe figure, Quinn. They never made him in the original toy line. This was a dude who was in the comics for a little while. So that is.
They finally gave him his due.
Finally gave him his due. So there's that. I need to find a place to stack.
Yay, Quinn.
Baroness. Can't have a G.I. Joe set without the Baroness, which is pretty awesome.
Nothing like Sienna Miller.
Yep. I got this It figure.
Ooh,
Nice. Yeah, I've been seeing those in Target.
Yeah, this is the one where, if you could see up close, where he starts to become the little demon thing. He's breaking out. If you look at his face,
His hands.
yeah, oh yeah, his hands too.
That's awesome.
I got this one, and I thought the package was damaged, but it's just the package design. This Chucky figure.
Oh, sweet!
And you look at it and you think, oh, that's all scrubbed up, and but no, that's
just the cardstock way it's made.
Yeah, that's the
awesome.
design of the thing.
I think NECA's about, or I think they're doing like some new Chucky and what's her name, Tiffany.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
I feel like they're putting out something with them because there was a Toonie Terror thing they did.
Probably for
Oh,
the
that's
show.
cool.
Got Orco here from Masters of the Universe.
Nice.
Well, who is it that Orco reminds me of? He reminds me of another character I've seen in some other fantasy.
He makes me
property.
think of Vivi from Final Fantasy.
That's it. Final
Yep.
Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 9.
Mantana, which I never had him as a kid, so that was kind of cool.
Nice.
Hang on. Got a couple more things.
You know, I don't collect He-Man toys, but oh man, that's so
Mecha
good.
Neck. Yep, which is pretty cool.
I've been tempted to like. I see the new Masters of the Universe toys in store, like in Walmart, and I'm telling you, the deluxe ones, like the bigger. You know, I don't know because it seems like there's different levels. Because you could get the re-release; they almost look like the remakes of the classic ones,
except for with articulation.
With articulation. But then there's like these other ones in the bigger, fatter boxes that look like 6-7 inch. Yeah, they just look really good. I don't know. I really want to watch the show. I gotta get on the ball with all these shows I've got in my list.
Jaga,
Thundercats.
Yep,
dude, that looks so good.
Yes, it does. I can't wait to pull him out.
And who did that one? That Super 7?
Yeah, that's Super 7. All this is Super 7.
Guys,
I'm on a Super 7.
Seeing him reminded me, Ray, and I've been wanting to tell you. I was in a local Walmart recently, and they had NECA has put out the Gargoyles figure.
Oh, that's
dude. He is priced at the same price point now as a standard like deluxe NECA figure, which is $34. You know, like all the deluxe figures they sell now.
Yeah, like the Michael Myers ones and stuff.
Any of those. So this one is 3 times the size of those, and it's the same price. And I'm telling you, the box is huge. You know, like the size of Steppenwolf or Darkseid. Yeah, like that level. But I mean, he's huge. But I think he's only priced at like $34.
Man,
yeah,
that's crazy.
So whenever I get the extra money, I'm going back to get him if they had a few of them.
Is it that big because of the is that big because of the wingspan?
Well, no, because that, and he's also just a very big character. I mean, like a big figure. Like I guess the character is supposed to be big, but he's really tall. But yeah, he also has a big wingspan. So that's what I'm saying. For the money, the price is right for that size figure. That's why sometimes I'm like the regular deluxe figures at NECA, like they've been creeping them up. I'm like, what's going on? Because you used to be, you know, it felt like they would be $25 and then they were $29 and now they're $34, $32. I don't know. It's I want to see them do more toony stuff like the Bill and Ted and all that I had.
All right, finally, I've been waiting since 2019 for this book
really?
to come out, and it finally shipped. Yes, this is just a catalog of all the vintage collection figures. So if you open it up and look in here, it like breaks down all the carded.
So cool.
Like, you know.
Look, and you open it to one of my favorites, Wicket.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, everybody wave to Wicket.
So, whoa, some stuff's falling out of it, but you can see, you know, kind of a cool deal because it shows all the card variants, all that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
So is this just going through the actual vintage collection, or is this like going through the history of the figures from the start?
Yeah. So it includes pretty much all of the vintage collection figures, except for like the newest stuff that was just released, like in the last couple of months.
So it's not
like a shore trooper and a fire trooper or something like that, and yeah.
So it's not going through like the old Power of the Force figures.
Oh no,
like
just
that's what I was saying. This is just the Hasbro,
the vintage collection stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then with it, they give me these cool coins.
Oh, that's awesome.
Slave One, Jabba's sail barge, and Jabba coins that come with it. I've got this. I guess this is a bookmark, yak face. Kind of cool thing. There is a portfolio here which features just photographs from the book, you know, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that was that a concept art for like? It looks like concept art from what I remember of like.
It is, but it's figures. It's not really art.
Ralph McQuarrie.
Yeah, it's Ralph McQuarrie, but done with action figures from.
Oh, it made me think.
Yeah, because they did. Yeah, they did some of that. Didn't Vintage Collection release like some of that stuff, like like the original Chewbacca and the original?
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah,
well, I think the original Chewbacca.
Ray, I was going to say, Ray, to answer your question, I think the original run for this Vintage Collection was what 2010 actually to like 2018.
Yeah, but I mean, they're still making them now because
Right,
I've,
okay.
I've seen some on the. I went to Walmart the other day and there's some on the shelf, but they're like.
Oh,
18.
I see. It went from 2010, I think, to 2010 to 2013, and then I think they began again in 2018.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's even got the sail barge in there, the Hasbro Pulse thing, because because the figures that came with it were vintage collection carded figures. So
Nice.
and that's my haul for the week.
Oh,
Sweet.
I only have one thing. It just came in today. I got
Ooh,
Yes.
from the Batman.
Dude,
Now
I
you
actually
gotta-
saw this in stores and I was impressed. I like this looks good.
Yeah, and being I have that Tumbler and the BVS Batmobile, I figured like this would be perfect to kind of set up with them like 3 eras of Batmobiles.
So build it and then like take your cars and smash them together and see which one breaks. See which one's the weakest Batmobile.
They'll just
still-
immediately smash together into like an ultimate Batmobile.
I mean, I still look at this, and the funny thing is, I see it and I just think, man, Dominic Toretto would
Yeah, I was
definitely
gonna say-
drive this. It looks like something Dominic Toretto would definitely drive. It's like,
it's like you see
Wait,
somebody
I-
pull up and he's like, "Me familia," and he just drives off into the sunset.
it's like
Oh,
at
man.
the after the Fast and Furious, at the end of Fast and Furious 11, he's like, I know what I need to do now for my family.
For my family.
Become a bat. I'm gonna become a bat.
Without you, my friend.
Okay, guys. Woo.
Before
right,
we
guys.
get teary-eyed, before we start crying.
When I see you.
I just want to say, guys, before we sign off, welcome back, Naboo Starfighter. We're glad you're with us.
Yes.
In one in the house.
Pleasant surprise
Yeah.
indeed.
All right.
Anyways, all right, guys. Until next time.
Later days.
That toy life.
To catch these ghosts, you need the real Ghostbusters.
Nice landing, Han Solo.
Spaceships and Luke Skywalker sold separately. Batteries not included.
That toy life.